Well, good afternoon, this is Hamlock Steve wishing you a very pleasant afternoon. And you know, I just had to make a comment about the ruling for the lockdown in Toronto. They've just gone back into a red zone, and the Ford government has decided to lock down the entire area except for big box stores. So basically all of your mom and pops, your owner operator stores are shut down and deemed non-essential, whilst all of the big box stores, whether it be hardware, Canadian Tire, Home Depot, Costco, this kind of stuff, all remain fully open. Costco is selling cooked food to customers. This is absolutely unbelievable. Now, our governments and our Premier, Doug Ford, have advisors. They know exactly what this will do to small business by shutting them down over, this is probably the second busiest period of the year for them. It has been a dark tunnel of a year for most small businesses as it is. And to go into lockdown and shut them down is one thing, but to allow these big box stores who are basically now they're showing no restriction on the amount of people going into the store. When I go into Home Depot in Peterborough, there's nobody at the door counting people in, nor at the grocery store. They've all given up on how many people they have in the store at one time. Social distancing is not observed, all of this kind of stuff. They're getting away with all kinds of rule breaking, and yet small businesses are being held to the letter of the law. And my point is here, I don't think that, I'm not saying that big box stores should be shut down. What I'm saying is that you shouldn't discriminate against the small mom and pop stores. And as I say, this is the second busiest time of year. Many of these people will be depending on this next 2 or 3 weeks to make it through the heating bills and high expenses of January, February and March. And I know my book is down. Right now, my store should be just loaded with people getting Christmas haircuts, and I can barely fill 3 days. That's why I'm sitting at home this afternoon. Instead of cutting hair, I am at home making videos because I don't have any appointments. So we're like I say, I'm considering myself lucky to be remaining open, but this has been a hard time for small businesses. But Doug Ford, and it's funny, I really wonder if this will be a hinge point, because I don't think there is anybody who cannot see the unfairness of doing this. And for all of you who might be wondering, this is an insight into the darkness of the people that we are dealing with here. Okay, only a very, very dark and cruel mind would force people through the agony of watching their businesses collapse over the Christmas period. And I don't even know how people in stores can play Christmas music on radio stations. Christmas music, oh, a happy time, joyful Noel. Well, it's not a very happy time for anybody right now. And again, whilst you are eating a little bit of turkey and stuffing on Christmas Day all alone in your home because the grandchildren couldn't come over, think of how dark this has become, how dark this story has become. Just last December, it was bright lights, happiness, joyful experiences, families getting together, and now there is no fun, no meetings, no celebrations, no gatherings, no music, no singing, no church services. Absolutely everything that is interesting and fun and that makes life worth living has been cancelled by these people. So I would like you to ask yourselves over your Christmas dinner whether it really was all worth it, because the dark mind and the dark hand behind this has now been exposed. And you can see this is, it's not going to stop, it's not going to go back. We started off with a 2-week lockdown. I don't know if you remember that. It was only going to be for 2 weeks. And now 10 months later, this is still ongoing. Now, I know I mentioned some of this in my vlog, but the vlog was 40 minutes long. And so many of you may not have caught this, but really that's one of the main things I want to put across is everyone can see how unfair this is. And if Doug Ford ever thinks he's going to get elected again, or if there isn't going to be some kind of retribution for this. I mean, this is not just, these are medium-sized businesses also that are being put out of business. Olive Gardens and Mario's and this kind of stuff, the kind of mid-range. And the Mandarin, for example, is another one that's going to be hurting. Yeah, they're doing takeout, but they're not packed like they should be. Okay, so there will be retribution, legal retribution, and who knows what else. I love the saying that Gerald Celente has, and that is that when people have lost everything and they've got nothing left to lose, people lose it. And so, wow, Doug Ford, shame, shame, shame on you. Shame on you. Allow these small businesses to open if you're going to lock down in January and February, for God's sake, when it's quieter, when there is no real business. People are doing inventories, that kind of stuff. Let them get through the Christmas period. I can't see what difference that's going to make when you're allowing people to crowd into big box stores. And, these smaller businesses only have 1 or 2 people in them. It's the same idea, is that you can't drive across the border in the privacy of your own car with just you and your partner, but you can have that vehicle shipped across the border, get onto a flying tube with 250 other people, fly to Buffalo, land on the other side, pick up your vehicle and continue your journey. Tell me, how is that related to helping to slow down the passage of this pathogen? It isn't. So you think about that over Christmas dinner. You think how dark this world has suddenly become, and I think we've forgotten how joyful it used to be, how interesting, and the wonderful conversations that people used to have. It's just been shut down. Just you think about that and think, was it worth it? Was it worth it for the lockdown? Anyway, this is Howlock Steve signing off, wishing you a very pleasant afternoon, and we'll talk very, very shortly. You take care now. See ya. Bye.